The right wing has come for Katie Porter, and in the absence of a legitimate attack against her, they decided to just baselessly smear her as a supporter of pedophilia. Here's the form it came in. Ronny Jackson, who used to be in charge of presidential health, now congressman, says Katie Porter just said that pedophilia isn't a crime. She said it's an identity. This is the embodiment of evil. The sad thing is that this woman isn't the only vile person pushing for pedophilia normalization. This is what progressives believe. But it wasn't just him. I don't even know if it was first him. This right-wing grifter was retweeted by libs of TikTok saying, Katie Porter says pedophilia isn't a crime, it's an identity. And that, look, legitimately, that's a shocking and scary claim, because I've supported her in so many areas. If she believes that pedophilia is just an identity, then that would cause me to really have to rethink my support for her and her whiteboards. But you'll be shocked to find out that's not at all what she actually said. What we're gonna do is prove it to you by showing not stripped out context-free video a few seconds at a time, but the full interaction that they're referencing in this clip.
I wanted to start with Ms. Robinson, if I could. Your organization recently released a report analyzing the 500 most viewed, most influential tweets that identified LGBTQ people as so-called groomers. The groomer narrative is an age-old lie to position LGBTQ plus people as a threat to kids, and what it does is deny them access to public spaces. It stokes fear and can even stoke violence. Ms. Robinson, according to its own hateful content policy, does Twitter allow posts calling LGBTQ people groomers?
No, I mean, Twitter, along with Facebook and many others, have community guidelines. It's about holding users accountable to those guidelines and acknowledging that when we use phrases and words like groomers and pedophiles to describe people, individuals in our communities that are mothers, that are fathers, that are teachers, that are doctors, it is dangerous. And it's got one purpose. It is to dehumanize us and make us feel like we are not a part of this American society. And it has real life consequences. So we are calling on social media companies to uphold their community standards. And we're also calling on any American that's seeing this play out to hold ourselves and our community members accountable. We wouldn't accept this in our families. We wouldn't accept this in our schools. There's no reason to accept it online.
So, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And it's not, this allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform.
Yeah, whether it was actually prohibited at any point, it obviously isn't now. But what you just saw there was the full context. There is no reasonable person who can look at that and say that she's saying, oh, actual pedophiles? No, that's an identity. That is not what she is talking about. That is not who the expert that they brought on to testify is talking about. They're saying baselessly calling people groomers and pedophiles simply because they are gay is not acceptable. That should be outside of the bounds of reason. But unfortunately, trying to be reasonable, trying to act with compassion gets twisted by these right-wing grifters into her being okay with pedophilia or whatever it takes to get people to hate her. Brett, what do you think?
The party trick of the Republicans, the Republican party trick, is to take a word that has a meaning, ignore that meaning, give it a new meaning, pretend that's the definition, and then just make ridiculous sentences that now make no sense if you knew the original meaning of the word. So they take things like trans or drag queen, and that just means someone of a certain identity or someone who does a certain performance. They then say that those words are the same as saying pedophile. They replace trans with the word pedophile, which is not accurate. For these folks that are saying like, you can't have your own pronouns, words have meaning, they're absolutely changing the meaning of words. And they turn into dog whistles, or in this case, outright lies. Let me do the same thing with Dr. Ronny Jackson. Dr. Ronny Jackson is a doctor. The Michigan State gymnastics doctor was a child molester. He molested people. So now I'm gonna say, instead of Dr. Ronny Jackson, since there are child molesters within the doctor community, I'm gonna say child molester Ronny Jackson is a child molester who molests children. And he says that child molester is now some kind of protected, I should give him more reverence because that's his job title. He went to child molester school for many years. That's how the right wing is absolutely gaslighting and unmoored from reality. And the worst part is that becomes their language. Their language, their shorthand for their primal branding is these ridiculously bastardized definition of words that end up with these insane, indecipherable, unless you're on the inside, tweets from people like child molester Ronny Jackson.
100%. No, that's a great breakdown. Your example's insane, but we live in an insane world. Anyway, yeah, no, that's what they do. They do it with fake news. They do it with the big lie. They do that with insurrection. They do it with coup. You could come up with a million examples. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.